In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a stipple finish. So I've got this outside here that I've been working on. It's been going pretty well so far, but it needs to have a stipple finish on. Putting a flat finish on something like this wouldn't work because it already has a stipple finish on it. The shape of the walls is quite bad. I've built it out loads. There was all like slate and stone and stuff, so I think it's had about 2.5 scratch coats on it. The first one I actually put in Seeker 1 just to make sure that it was weather tight, because we are in the middle of nowhere basically. This is quite an awkward one because if you can see, the scaffolding is a little bit all over the show. So I have to climb up on that roof to do all that area here, and I've got to walk all the way from here all the way around to get to the ladder on the other side. So it's just one of those jobs where it's just going to take a bit of time. So because this is such an awkward gable end to do and to put stipple on your own, what I'm going to actually do today is I'm going to try and use some of this extra time render retarder. So it's basically, they say you put 1 sachet in with every bag of cement. So I'll be putting just over half a sachet into each mix. The only reason I'm doing this is because it is quite a big area when you've got to ferry everything on your own, which is what I've got to do. I've got to do this all on my own. So I'm going to wet all the walls, I'll get a mix in, start putting the sand cement on, and then I can start putting a stipple on. One of the key things with any sort of brushed finish and stuff is that you have to get on it when it's fairly wet. You have to make sure that it's constantly wet, otherwise you won't get a continuous finish, so it'll look patchy. But what I'm doing today is I've got a couple of brushes. I've got my normal small brush that I always do all my stipples with, but I've actually got a really big flat brush. So I'm gonna see if I can, because the stipple on this is quite big. So I thought I'd try that just to make my life a little bit easier. First things first, I'm gonna get my sprayer. I'm gonna wet the walls and see what the suction's like. So the reason why you spray with water is because you want to see what the suction's going to be like. You want to see how well the waterproof's working. And you want it to go shiny, like so, over here. And you want to see how quickly it dries in. Because if it dries in too quickly, you're going to want to put a bit more water in, otherwise you're going to be struggling with suction. Right, so a few of you will be asking, why am I starting at the bottom? Well, I'm not actually starting at the bottom, I will be starting from the top. But the reason why I'm spraying at the bottom first is so that I can see what the suction's like. Because sometimes if you get on it and the suction, there is no suction, basically the water's just going to lie on there. So, and that can be an issue too, because you don't want the walls to be too wet, because that can actually affect the sand cement. So what I've done is I've just chosen the area that I'm doing last, and I'm just making sure that this is going to be... So I've been putting some water on it, and I've left it for about 5 minutes now, and it is still pulling in. So I actually am going to try a trick today. I'm going to be putting some PVA into the water. I wasn't going to do this today. I thought I'd probably get away without having to do it, but when the sunshine comes on, I think it's going to be actually hitting this. So I'm going to be doing it to make sure, basically, I don't want to have any comebacks. I don't want to be struggling later on. Get some water, put some PVA in it, mix it up, put it in my sprayer, and I'm going to spray it all. So I've just sprayed some on, and it is holding a lot nicer now. So that's a great tip, that is. I got that from somebody else online, because I normally just spray it and spray it and spray it with water until I get control, but actually just putting a bit of PVA in it has just it just looks like it's controlled it a lot easier. So that's the first barrow around here now, so I'm just going to go mix another one and I'll put another one in the mixer. But Jesus Christ, it's warm today. Yeah, so there's one round there now, and I'm going to go mix another one and I'll put another one in the mixer just so I've got a good banker so I can get cracking. Right, so I'm now ahead now. I've got my 2 barrows that I'm going to take more 1 barrow around now. So I've now got 3 barrows basically good to go. That one's pretty good to go. I'm just going to take this one here now, and then I'm going to start bringing, taking some stuff up. I've chucked a big yellow tub up there so I can actually just pour a lot into that so I don't have to be going constantly up and down when I'm getting the stuff on. Right, so that's the first part done. It's actually holding quite nicely, so this extra time of thing. I'm actually using my big brush. I never use my big brush when I'm stippling. I normally use my little one. So it's normally like a nice neat pattern. So this is the normal flat brush that I've used. This was my dad's. It's mine. I think it's probably about 20 odd years old now. And it's stayed pretty well, but today I'm using a really big one, just because to match what's down there. Going to show you quickly how I do my stipple. So I like to go in circles, so I'm constantly working into the stuff. Can you see there? So if you see any holes, you just want to keep moving your brush, turn it around. Like so. What you tend to find is you find a rhythm, and then so it is a bit of a random finish, but you can make it as uniform as you can. Always try and keep in the same amount of pressure on with each stroke. But you can see here, so this So I've actually never used this brush before, hence why I'm getting quite a few. It's not as compact as my other one. This is the one I've been using for years, and if you can see, when you do that, it's a much tighter, different type thing. So that's roughly how I do it. I need to get this top on now, so I'm just going to keep on cracking on. I need to go and get some stuff up. One thing to say though, this it does seem to be holding in quite nicely. So the wall isn't as wet as I thought it would be, but with the fact that I've got some PVA in it and I've used this stuff to slow it down, it seems to have made it a lot easier. Right, anyway, I'm going to get some stuff up. Right, so that's the top part done. It's actually still at the start. It's actually still touched, so I can actually still stipple it all, which is really good. I'm really happy with how it's going. The stippling's looking good. One thing I will say is when you're stippling is constantly look at it, because if it doesn't look right, it's not right. So if you need to go back and put a bit more of a brush on, go and do it, because you'll regret it otherwise. That's how I always see it. See, I've just gone over mine once more in a couple of places where it was just a bit thicker than I want it to be. I'm just going to go and get my other barra out of the mixer now, and I'll put another one in. Day is becoming quite nice now, actually, to be fair. The sunshine is out. But yeah, again, not another bad place to work. So I've just given this a quick wet now. So I've got this just bottom layer to get to here, and then I'll be onto the other side then, and that'll be the home stretch. But I've got one more barrow in, so I'm going to get that out, and that should do here, and then I'll have to mix a few more after that. Right, so I've just done this side now. It was bloody awkward, if I'm being completely honest. There's nowhere to put your feet, but it is looking uniform now, and it is matching in with what is already existing here, as you can see. So that's good. Right, so I've managed to catch the joint, so I'm happy with how that's gone. Right, so the sun's come out in full force now, and the last bit is in full sunlight. So luckily with this stuff, it does give me a little bit extra time. I'm going to mix a bit more now, but yeah, it's working really well this extra time, as well as putting the PVA in the water. That's definitely helping with the controlling the suction, because I've had no problems with the joints at all. Right, that's pretty much it done now. Damn it. So that's pretty much all of this done now. Right, now it's time for me to do some cleaning up. So that's that gable done. Right, so I'm just having a break now. It's pretty hot now. I can't believe how hot it's got. But definitely having the extra time in the sand cement has definitely helped a lot. So yeah, I'd definitely be recommending that, especially when you're doing big areas on your own. It's been pretty good today. I mean, to get this gable on and it's in the sun all day. Right, so that's the end of the job. It's gone pretty well. I think all the little things that I've done to help it has definitely made my life a lot easier today. So obviously with putting some PVA in my water when I was trying to control the suction, and also using the extra time to actually slow it down that tiny bit, it's just let me be in control all the way through, especially with, obviously you've seen with all the angles that I've had to work through, and it's not been ideal. So it's worked out just about right for me. Right, so thank you very much for watching this video. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe, and thank you to everyone who has subscribed. It's going on great at the moment, and I'm well and truly on for getting my 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next video. Remember, there's a new video every Tuesday. Right, cheers guys, catch you on the next one.